So I have a follow-up to a story I presented to you last year, a couple years ago here on the Pete the Planner Show on 93 WIBC. Young man roasting coffee beans in his garage has now opened a coffee shop. So we're going to talk about that amongst many other things on this week's show, including my new segment, This Week in Carmel, where I tell you about the ridiculous thing that happened in my city that I live in, Carmel, which includes a complaint about a pink sign and a horse on a pedestrian trail. So all that and more on this week's Pete the Planner Show. But now we turn to Darrin Marion, owner of Darrin's Coffee. Darrin, the last time we spoke to you, you were roasting coffee beans where you're supposed to park your cars, but it turns out now that you have a coffee shop.
Yeah, that's right, man. I finally was able to kind of grow this thing and got the opportunity to move to a great space in downtown Zionsville and open up a shop, and I'm roasting right here on site, man.
So the name of the coffee, of course, is Darrin's Coffee, and the name of the coffee shop, I would assume, is Darrin's Coffee. Is that correct?
Yeah, Darrin's Coffee Company.
All right. And so from what I understand, did another coffee company happen to go out of business in a similar time frame that you went in there? Is that true?
Yeah, they did actually. They were purchased by another company, and they just totally, I guess, decided to change up the way they did business, and I just happened to chance favors to prepared mine, so I was ready, and chance favored me.
So tell us, of course, your story started roasting beans at home, and then you were selling them with great success at the Zionsville Farmers Market, and then you had the chance to expand. When you started your coffee roasting company, was the plan to open a coffee shop, or did it just kind of lead that way?
It was kind of happened out of necessity. I needed a place to roast, and I needed a place I needed a place to roast that would work as a commercial kitchen, and the opportunity opened up, and I jumped on it and moved in here, got my sinks, and really was kind of scared because, as you probably know, Pete, I'm really kind of debt averse.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure I did this stuff bootstrapped as possible. So Craigslisted out and, went ahead and just kept reinvesting my profits, reinvesting back into the business.
How long have you been open?
Been open now since July 3rd. I was actually his dad. We did our little ribbon cutting.
All right. And so your hours, I assume, typical morning hours, and as an entrepreneur running now a restaurant, if you will, what have your hours been like, the hours that you're putting in? Have you found that you're there all the time?
Oh, yeah, about 70. Easy 70. And it was funny, though, because it's so much fun, I didn't realize that I had that long to do it.
Yeah, it's if it makes you feel any better, I worked 70 last week too. So
okay.
Of course,
yeah,
I was caffeinated, so that helps. You're doing night events too, right? Weren't you doing some poetry readings and some open mic nights? And how's that been received in downtown Zionsville?
Oh, it's been received great, man. The want to be a coffee shop is a place where everybody needs to gather, and I want to make it so kids are able to come and families are able to hang out here and people are able to have discussions. So do everything kind of not alcohol free, and do it so the underagers can come. Have the kids from the high school and some middle school kids come to play jazz, all that stuff.
And so have you noticed that the more coffee you're buying, have your margins gone up because you're able to buy with better pricing in bulk? Have you gotten to that point yet with the business or not?
Oh man, I've actually been fortunate enough to, I'm 90% direct trade, and one of the guys I've been working with had great deals for me to be able to do a lot of coffee on consignment. So still, he's holding the inventory, and I'm able to actually sell it. So it's just kind of funny when you want to work something out, how you actually can work it out.
So not to disclose all your trade secrets here on the radio with literally bazillions of people listening, but what's next for Darrin's Coffee? Continue to be a strong member of the Zionsville community, I assume, and sell coffee on the internet, but is there anything upcoming that people need to understand and know about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, well, I plan on, of course, I'm the only minority certified coffee, tea, and water company in the state of Indiana. So I plan on going into office coffee as a service. Also want to open up another couple of stores where I roast on site. So
have you started training other roasters in that? Are you becoming like a roast master?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Business is only you want to get it to where it can run itself, so you manage the business, and the business doesn't manage you. So, I'm training people, and I've got it as automated down as possible.
Well, good. Well, I love keeping track of your story. Again, a couple years ago, I believe we had you on, and you were just kind of doing it at home. So it's neat to watch businesses grow. I can imagine that you probably can't imagine yourself doing anything else. Is that the point you're at now?
Yeah. Oh man, of course. Yeah. I knew I was all in when we first talked, and I think I may have sent an email and said, "Hey, this little company is going to go somewhere," and I'm all in on it. So.
Well, very good. Well, we're proud of you, proud of your story. If people want to try some of Darrin's coffee, they can find you, of course, in Zionsville or find you online as well. So thanks for your time here this morning, and we wish you the best of luck.
Hey, thanks, Pete, man. You're right, man.
My pleasure.
All right.
All right, so there it is, man. I love entrepreneurial stories. Darrin's a good guy. He bounced around a couple different industries, figured out that if you learn business the right way, you can do cool things. If you think about all the neat, specifically food service companies around central Indiana, they all start with just someone making something in their kitchen, right? I mean, you think about, Who's Your Mama's Bloody Mary Mix, which also happens to be out of Zionsville. Zionsville, apparently the hotbed of prepared foods. You think about that cool story and how they're nationwide now. You think of Sun King, with Omar and Clay Robinson, the work they're doing, Sun King Brewery, and the huge craft beer boom that exists because of them and the likes of Upland down in Bloomington. It's really cool because it gives you hope that if you have an idea and you go about it and you're sensible, that there could be some success. Of course, as you just heard from Darrin, as any business owner, those 70-hour work weeks are a little bit more fun when those 70-hour work weeks go to building your brand and your business and your lifestyle. And so I don't know. I'm really proud of Darrin. I've known him since high school. I think it's a really cool thing. I'll be damned, the coffee's really good. This is all great and all, but the coffee needs to be good, and I think that's the success of it. So check out Darrin's Coffee in Zionsville. Of course, online. I think it's darrinscoffee.com. Do you have an entrepreneurial story you want to share on our show? I want to hear it, actually. I love entrepreneurial stories. They're my favorite. Pete the Planner, WIBC.com. Shoot me an email. We've got a lot on the show this week. We really do. Let me tell you what we have. Coming up after this break, we've got Jeff Daniels, General Manager of Toyota of Muncie, talking about the 5 things people do by going cheap on their cars and then end up hurting themselves in the end. Later in the show, next hour, we've got Secretary of State Connie Lawson talking about some new investor fraud schemes that are going on out there. And attorney of the show, Jim Reed, I never know how lawyers get paid. And there's so many different ways that I'm having him in. We're just flat out going, Jim, how do lawyers get paid? And he's going to tell us. He's going to make it easy to understand. And, of course, my news segment at the end of this hour, This Week in Carmel, a humorous look at the wacky things that happen in 1 week in Carmel, Indiana. And we'll do that 10:50 or so. So don't miss it. Just listen to the whole show. You don't have to worry about time. So there's more of the Pete the Planner Show coming up next here on 93 WIBC.